universe will birth. Make yourself a power spot. Say what? Bring your stone and a cooking pot. Bring air, bring fire, bring water, bring earth. You a new universe will birth. Make yourself a power spot. Bring your spoon and a cooking pot. Bring air, bring fire, bring water, bring earth. You a new universe will birth. One more time. Make yourself a power spot. Say what? Bring your spoon and a cooking pot. Bring air, bring fire, bring water, bring earth. You a new universe will birth. Yeah. You know, Phyllis Wheatley was one of the first representations of empowered black womanhood that I learned about in 1964. They hadn't killed Martin yet. And here we are in 2020 celebrating so many shifts and changes and growth that had happened and standing up for the shifts and changes and growth that have not happened. Here we are with these statues of women in a city that has been known in the past for its misogyny and racism, that has lifted itself up out of that to actually stand and be able to have these statues that honor these women who were brave, who stood up and stood out. One of the things that happens in societies that oppress is that they create silences for those who would stand up for themselves. In the microcultures of our internal selves, we silence that within us, which is empowering and powerful. In the macrocosms of our households, we may be silenced by our partners or even silenced by our children, or what we are afraid of, either in them or for them. And then in the greater culture, which is a patriarchy, because it's a patriarchy, we are second in that. And being men comes first. We are moving towards a humanarchy where there isn't a hierarchy of gender. There isn't a hierarchy of intersectionalness. What there is an opportunity for us to build bridges between all of the intersectional sections so that we gain the power that comes from specialization. Those of us who are here, we're specializing in being receptive. We're specializing in however we interpret what it is that we get to do in the world that embraces it. That's one of the things that we're told we specialize in. Some of us, regardless of our gender, specialize in penetrativeness, she says, looking at the videographer, who's a dear friend and taught me the value of safety and penetration in a female form. We're here today to celebrate those who have stood up, survived, escaped, gotten strong, made a difference. We are here to pray for those who cannot stand up, who do not know what escape could possibly look like, who have absolutely no prospects of being able to stand up for themselves or even stand up with help. We send them our energy because we are medicine people. We are the people that we are hoping for. We get to live into the legend of our power. We get to live into the legend of the difference that we have the privilege and honor of making. It's not a burden to stand up and make a difference. It's an honor. It's a gift. It's an opportunity to bring our gratitude to that so that we make the difference that we really want to make from our places of inclusion, welcome, and empowerment for ourselves and each other. Only those who could not speak can speak for those who cannot speak. The Zapatista women knew that. 10 years ago, they and their compatriots of every gender type got together and decided that they were going to stake a claim in Chiapas for freedom. They were going to stake a claim for agency. They were going to stake a claim for power, that is the ability, power being defined as the ability to reach and influence that which is not our isness. They took that stand and they made it real. They're an example. They have called out to the world on this International Women's Day for each of us, regardless of the parts that we have and what we do with them, have called for all of us to stand up and make a difference, to stand out in that difference making, so that we can be examples of what love looks like in action, what it looks like to embrace others with an openness and a power that is not about belonging. I don't want to long to be. It's a power of embrace. It's a power of welcome. It's an opportunity for us to reach out and around and say, here is a place where there is safety. Here is a place where there's enough safety for it to move into security. Here is a place where there's enough security for us to be able to stand in our sovereignty and reach out and make a difference. The earth is generator for all of us. It's mother and father. It can protect and it nurtures. It does all the things that we attribute to a particular gender. It's called love, and love does not have a gender. Love is about standing up and reaching out and reaching around and saying, I've got your back, I've got your front, I'm up underneath you, stand on my back, I'm up above you, I'm leading you with my wings, I am showing you where the thermals are and where you might drop out of the sky and die. I am showing you how to not die. I am showing you what living can look like when you live into the legend that you write with your goodness. And every single one of us here is standing in the opportunity to do exactly that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, in this circle of staffs, in this modern ritual of love and empowerment and graciousness, where grace from Spirit itself has come down with and for all of us, in this space of staffs, we are saying there's a commitment that a staff holds. There's a commitment to integrity. There's a commitment to transparency and honesty. There's a commitment to stand up for ourselves so that we may stand up for others. Put on your own oxygen mask first. That's real. Okay? We get to make choices. They're not always the smartest choices. Sometimes you got to do the big stupid to do right. Sometimes you have to make choices that go against the grain in order to be in alignment. There's a phrase, I shall be free, when the fullness of the experience is greater than the security of my armor. On a small microcosm, nanocosm level, that's what we get to do to get to freedom. And we get to model the freedom that we champion for others on what we know. We have traditions that go back thousands of years that run in our blood that we carry forward. We don't even know what we're doing sometimes when we're downloading and we're channeling. We just know that this is the right thing to do. That's coming from another time, another place. We're medicine people who honor that on the mountainside of things. And we are surrounded by wealth. I've been in these homes with ladders in their personal libraries for all 3 stories. Okay? Money is not an enemy. The mainstream is not an enemy. The folks in the mainstream who are looking at us from these windows are wondering if we're the medicine people who will not mock them for their money. If we are the medicine people who will actually open our arms the way that we say that we will, and we don't always. They're wondering whether or not their gift of money is going to be accepted in exchange for the gift of our medicines of energy. And all of that happens all over the world. This is the time of bridging. Yes, there's a rising up of the divine feminine. Yes, there's a rising up of the divine receptive. And that's no longer assigned to gender. It's no longer, rage is no longer assigned to color. I'm not an angry black woman. That's the thing. I'm not that. Sometimes we have to stand up and take the opportunity to bridge across intersectionality, to set ourselves up so that we can make a difference in what we're doing with the people who are in front of us and the circumstances that Spirit has given us. This is what we're here for, beloveds. This opportunity to make that difference, this opportunity to stand up, stand out, stand down from our high horses and stand with our beloveds all over the world of any intersectional stripe. That's what this is about, at least for me. And I see on your faces by your smiles that it may be for you too. So here's what we get to do. We get to be in our joyful empowerment. Okay? Dirges don't get people dancing, I'm just saying. Okay? We get to stand in our joy. We get to stand in that power. We get to stand in the things that lift us up so that others can be lifted up with us and by us. And as long as we hold gratitude for being able to use our delight and our privilege and all of the things that we've been given to make the difference, then we're standing with women like the Zapatistas who had pretty much a whole bunch of nothing and stood up anyway. This is our time, sweet ones. This is our time to claim the differences that we can make, that we can name. And so please, let's put our prayers, our energy, all that medicine that we've worked on the mountain to get ready for this time, this now, this moment of grace to lift all of us up together. We fly better that way, and flying's what we're here for now. And there's a whole world, there's a whole planet of 8 billion people who are ready to fly with us when we show them what embrace can look like that is based in safety, not judgment. Okay? That's my prayer. I hope y'all will join me in that. Because it seems to me that we're all here to get inspired so that we can make a difference. And then so that we do. Y'all ready to play that game?
Yeah.
That was weak. Thank you for all the staff carriers who brought your medicine and your magic collected into this one rod that is also the chalice. Thank you to all of the ancestors underneath this land, buried and composted into nourishment for the trees that it radiates out to us so that we can feel it in this moment. Thank you very much, as my city Los Angelian self calls to nature and says, we're standing with you. Thank you to everyone who has come today from near and far to bring your glorious heart to this moment, to this center, to what it is that we are collectively bringing into the world, where may we remain connected till the end of days. May we all find peace that we can share. May we all find glory in our good work, because behavior that's rewarded persists. Behavior that's cherished innovates. Behavior that's celebrated evolves. And let's face it, evolution is just a bunch of innovations having a rave in the culture sub-basement. Okay? So we get to innovate and evolve just by stepping out of our comfort zones to make a difference and then not dying. That's all it takes to innovate.
And then if that happens, it happens.
And then it happens, it happens.
That's where we're all going.
That's right. So we all get to make a difference. Never, please, to the end of the days and you see your maker, do not think that you cannot make a difference because your very existence, your breathing matters. So since you've already won and you're already doing great because you can fog up a mirror without mechanical assistance, you can't lose. All you got to do is just step out and make a difference and you're good. Yay, you. Okay? The more you celebrate yourself, the bigger the difference you get to make. And that's real. All right? So thank you to everyone who has come here this day, who set up this day so that it could happen with such seamless graciousness. I want to thank Katrina for calling us forward with such power and love, with your wings that span a continent.
You all keep showing up, so I'm gonna.
But you keep inviting us, Witch. Okay? You got me all out in nature and public and stuff. All right? So, thank you to each of you from whatever your space was to get yourself here. Whether you wandered past or walked the whole way, it matters because there's a butterfly effect and your energetics are rippling out into the world as we speak. So please stand tall. For those who cannot, please reach down and deep for those who cannot rise. Please reach out for those who are terrified to reach back and then stand in patience so that a space is created for them to come into. That's how we all get to play the game of do the good goods and make a difference so it all gets better. That's not some pie in the sky. One foot in front of the other, that's all you gotta do, and you'll get it. All right? That's the blessing for today, that we did it. We got it right, and we did it, and that's real. Okay?
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're gonna end with a song. Melanie's got the words to pass out so that we have them.
I don't have enough for everybody, so
We share.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I kind of.
okay.